HighLevel pushed out a couple new updates to opportunities that we're really excited about, along with some other updates coming your way in this week's GHL Weekly Breakdown. All right, guys, first up, we got a minor update to Image A.I. You now have the ability to use Image A.I. within your blog. So if you're using HighLevel in the blog section within HighLevel, they're making improvements to this, making it more SEO friendly. It's something that we're now starting to see some of our keywords rank for blog work that we're doing as well. So a really cool feature now for us to be able to go in and where you have a featured image for the blog or you want to insert images into your text, you now have the ability to use the Content AI function, click the little robot button, type in your prompt and create an image. We haven't tested this again since, I don't know, we probably did it on here a month and a half ago, the Image AI. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I'm not a huge fan of any Image AI builders yet. I just haven't had a lot of success with it. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know why it is, but we are keeping an eye on it. If you use Image AI or you use any other sort of image generation through AI, any other tool, I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to hear the comparison between Image AI inside your HighLevel account and what you're using outside of HighLevel. So if you do, let us know. Otherwise, stay tuned for more updates on Image AI. Next up, we have some more enhancements and upgrades to the community feature. I haven't been itemizing these updates because I don't think that anybody's using this yet. And if we do have somebody that's using it, then they're probably plugged in enough because it's a new feature that they know these new updates as they're coming out. Again, if you're using communities, then all you got to do is say, hey, I'm using communities, and I'll change my approach with that. But for right now, just know they continue to update and add what I would consider to be like basic minimum functionality, but HighLevel likes to roll out these features with really stripped down feature sets and then kind of add the features that people are demanding over time. And so now we're starting to see some kind of common sense features get added to this community module, which will make it more likely that we adopt it going forward or that one of our clients does. All right, next up, if you are using the LC phone system, they made a lot of changes and updates to the A2P 10DLC submission process, basically. So we handle this for our clients. If you're a client of Empower's, you do not have to worry about this. We are doing your A2P registrations behind the scenes. However, if you use the LC phone system, they handle that for you. And so you want to pay attention to these updates that roll out. If you are not A2P approved, then you probably have already started to see your text messages get filtered. It went into effect last week. So if you're not A2P approved, if you're seeing a bunch of messages get filtered, this is probably why. So let us know if you have any questions around this. Nick Rohal is in this group. He is an expert on all things A2P, and he has been very willing to help out anybody who asks questions around this specifically. Nick is on our team, so if you have questions around this, you can either just ask the question in the group and he'll jump in and help where he can, or you can jump on our weekly Zoom room where we can discuss it there and give you an actual walkthrough of what you can expect, at least if you're using Twilio. The LC phone system, we might have to do a screen share. If you jump on the weekly Zoom room, then we can actually go into either your screen or ours and show you the exact process for registering. We can look at any submissions that you've made and that have gotten rejected and try and speculate as to why or what you could do differently. We are now having an awesome success rate with A2P submissions ourselves, so please feel free to reach out if you have any questions on this. All right, next up, we have kind of an interesting update coming out of HighLevel. I wanted to share this with you. What they shared is that they have 2 patents pending and 8 more in the wings ready to submit for the approval process. The 2 that they have pending right now, they have one for social media AI scheduling, and they have one for conversational AI booking bot. I don't know exactly what's included in the patents. It's not like they included their full application or anything. But it's super interesting that they're making these moves to like solidify their position in the market, like where a lot of concerns that I had in the beginning of using HighLevel was, is this going to be fly by night? Is this going to be something that ends up getting neglected or bought out by somebody bigger really early on in the process that makes it really inconvenient for us as users? But we've been on board with HighLevel for 4.5, almost 5 years now. And obviously we have seen our fears kind of mellowed. We've seen our fears consoled, so to speak, when it comes to that. But this is a really interesting play from my perspective. I just haven't heard of CRMs filing for patents and fucking the past decade. So really interesting. I'm really excited to see where this goes and see like whether it's a sign of bigger things to come and bigger commitments on their end to, becoming like the next, I don't know, Salesforce, HubSpot, right? Like they obviously have their own unique components of them that create their own space, but that's really the pace that they seem to be setting right now, is like they're going to be massive. The investments that we make right now into learning this platform are going to pay dividends for the rest of our careers, and I firmly believe that. All right, last up, we have a couple new features to one of our favorite modules, or one of our favorite things to talk about, which is the opportunities. Opportunities are basically your pipelines where you can move cards from stage to stage. We know opportunities that custom field support is being slowly added over time. We are getting more and more things that we can do with those custom fields. And we're also getting some triggers related to opportunities as well. So first up, we now have a trigger that is opportunity stage change or opportunity created. Hard to believe that we didn't have these before, and it's not. And at first glance, I was like, "Oh man, we didn't have these before." And then I can remember just replaying frustrating situation after frustrating situation where that would be super advantageous, as far as, hey, when a pipeline, when something moves from this stage to this stage, do this series of action. So we're excited about that. We're excited about the addition of this as a trigger, whereas it used to be you could filter and create your if-else logic based on this. You couldn't use this as an actual filter. So we're excited about that. The other piece that's pretty cool is you now have the ability to export all of your opportunities based on filters that you set up. And when you export them, all of your custom fields get exported as well. So this is inching towards being able to use those custom fields in like smart lists, for example. But for right now, you now have the ability to export your opportunities. And when you do that, you'll get your custom fields as columns, so that now you can run some basic reporting, or do an export to identify leads that you want to import back into a specific smart list, right? If you want to add a bunch of people to a call list, you can use these opportunity custom fields to do that. If you export it into a Google Sheet, do your filters in there, and then import it back in. And when you import it back in, you just say that you want to add a tag, and now you can trigger your workflow, your campaign, your workflow off of the tag that you add from that import. So now you have a little bit easier workaround for some of the things that you guys that are using custom fields for opportunities, some of the things that you guys are looking for. Again, I think the exciting part of this for me is not necessarily the workaround itself, but the fact that we're one step closer to being able to use those custom fields for everything we can use contact custom fields for. All right, guys, that is it for this week's weekly breakdown. Thank you so much for watching. Again, the shout outs, the comments that I ask for in the video, please pay attention to those. If there's an opportunity for you to chime in and let us know how you're using the system, or a feature that we glanced over or glossed over that you want to see elaborated on, please shout that out. That's how we're going to make this as valuable as possible. But outside of that, I hope we see you on next week's Zoom room. It's going to be Tuesday at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Again, highlighting the time change. We've changed from 11 Mountain Time to 9 a.m. Mountain Time. We're hoping this is going to be better for a lot of you guys. We will see you next week on the Zoom room or next week's weekly breakdown. But until then, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you at the top.